Hello, everyone. In this video, we'll be walking through part 2 of our AS400 Gateway for MuleSoft demonstration. If you just watched part 1, welcome back. If you haven't, my name is Matt Price, and I work in business development and customer success. I'm joined by Dima, our VP of Integration and Cloud Solutions.
Hello, hello.
So for this second part of the demo, Dima will be walking through the IBM AS400 to SalesForce near real-time order change using the Web Transaction Framework in MuleSoft. Featured in this demonstration, the order status will be changed in the IBM AS400 ERP as the order is fulfilled or invoiced. The order status event will be placed to the IBM data queue. The MuleSoft app will listen to the data queue for new order status events with the help of the AS400 Gateway. For each new order status event, the MuleSoft app will transform the data and send the order update status to SalesForce. Dima, it's all on you.
Thanks so much, Matt. So let's see it in action and hope it's going to work. All right, so as we saw in the previous demo, the inbound order coming from SalesForce will be created dynamically directly from our integration layer within our backend ERP system. And that's what we are looking at here. So kind of mock order maintenance screen. And we just created this last order 10-120. So to simulate the fulfillment flow within ERP, I'm going to change the status of an order from activated to picked, for example, and press enter. So what happens here is behind the scene, this status change will be captured and sent through IBM data queues to MuleSoft layer that will be responsible for delivering that change to SalesForce and applying it to the correct order. So we'll walk through this, through the details in a moment. But let me first start with IBM AS400 data queue listener. I guess before doing that, let's confirm that the status change made it to SalesForce. Let me refresh the screen on our order, and as you could see, the status changed to picked, and it was done like in a matter of seconds. So that's good. Demo worked. So now let's see how we made it work. Naturally, the demo starts. The flow starts with the data queue listener. So that's the IBM AS400 gateway component that starts the flow and reacts on new messages immediately when the messages are placed into the data queue. Right? The configuration is fairly straightforward. We just need to define data queue library where that data queue is defined. For keyed data queues, we can specify the key. Here we just say basically give me everything in arrival order, even though it's a keyed data queue. In addition, we can specify a format file and library, and that will be used to parse the data structure, record format data structure, and get individual field names out of a data queue message. So it's possible to treat it as a string or as a externally defined record format as a sort of convenience feature for developers. So we get this request, in our case, the order change, status change request from data queue in real time. And then MuleSoft component can take care of transforming that information as needed and pass it on to SalesForce System API for the actual SalesForce action. And in this case, all we need is the order number and new status. So we get them out of the data queue record format elements and pass them on to SalesForce System API. It's just a regular REST API call. After the successful call, we send the response back to the response data queue so that our AS400 component knows that this request has been acknowledged. So that's the AS400 facing behavior. Maybe take a few seconds and talk about web transaction framework that facilitates the data queue operations on the AS400 side. It's a very lightweight framework that just makes it easier, saves development effort on communicating with data queues, and it shows it works with a pair of data queues, request and response. And when it's called, it provides some convenience methods for AS400 developers to just call a program, and that will trigger the data queue entry, and developers don't have to deal with that directly. Not a big deal, but saves quite a lot of time when you need to develop several, maybe tens or hundreds of integrations at scale. So the framework also supports the timeout. For example, if the external process didn't pick up the data queue entry, the request within a timeout period, it would detect that fact and potentially alert the supporting team. Also, the framework supports the retries. And as you could see, these are the transactions that we just processed today. And you could see the status, create and process date time, and even some information about, like in this case, you could see there's an order ID and status passed through the data queue. So this information could be very useful. It could be streamed to alerting and monitoring tools like Splunk or Elastic. When transaction fails for whatever reason, you could set the alerts to, like, see, sometimes the transaction failed. You could set the alerts within your external alerting and monitoring tool to notify your support teams. So that's a very useful tool that is provided as part of AS400 Gateway. No extra licenses needed or extra cost. It does require a license, but no extra cost to the customers. Let's see. So, and then once that request is passed to the SalesForce system API, as you would expect, SalesForce part is pretty straightforward. We created an API that receives the request, retrieves the SalesForce order based on the order ID passed from the API client, and then updates the order with the new status. Again, it's a very simplified scenario just for the demo. The real life scenarios are rather more complex, but even this simple end-to-end flow could be used as a starting point for rapidly delivering these end-to-end integrations, sending orders from your Salesforce or other CRM to AS400 ERP in near real time, and then streaming the changes back from the backend system and distributed across your different channel applications or CRM applications. From my side, back to you, Matt.
Awesome, Dima. Thank you so much for the demonstration. So guys, for more information on our AS400 Gateway products, feel free to visit our website or send us an email at mule400@infoviewsystems.com. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.